Welcome back to Salmon's Pizzeria. The championship roundup is back for another week, and this time I am a very happy man. Although, unfortunately, because this pizzeria franchise is under refurbishment, I have no camera or computer or anything. I am on my phone. um, Someone who is normally on their phone, however, is Kieran Ashton. How are you doing, Kieran?
I'm doing all right. Obviously, we'll go on to talk about Saturday as much as I really don't want to do it. Um, I don't do walking away. We might get beat 3-0. I'm still here. You know what I mean? So, other than that, I'm doing all right. And look forward to talking about the other games this weekend and absolutely not ours.
Oh, I am more than happy to talk about our game on Saturday, but that's not what we're going to start off with. We're going to draw this out for as long as possible with this. It's not often I get to do this. So we start off with the big game, and that is the battle between the top two, Falkirk against Ayr. Now, this was a sellout crowd, which, considering Falkirk only has three stands, even then is still impressive. It's what, like 8,000, 8,500 people, which for the championship, that's
It's
impressive.
a very good
So,
crowd, yeah.
it's like fair play to the Air support for selling out their section as well. That was, I think, about 1,000,
Mm-hmm.
just so 1,000 fans that they managed to bring along, which is a pretty good away support at this level. And it was the away support who started off getting what they wanted. Is they got a very early penalty. Uh, Air player just runs through the defence and gets bundled over. It's one of those where it's like, yep, penalty every day of the week.
Absolutely,
Henderson,
it was a silly challenge to make. You know what I mean?
aye,
Especially them being on the break of the play. You know what I mean? Falkirk probably started the game the brighter side, and then to get their player makes that challenge, and I'd been raging about that, but yeah.
it was very, very silly. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
it is punished. Henderson sends the keeper the wrong way 15 minutes in, and it's 1-0 to Ayr United. And Falkirk do push for an equaliser, but it was still a bit end to end. And a shot from outside I think it was a shot from outside the box hits. Did it hit the post, or was it? Or
I
did the
think
keeper
it hit
save
the
it?
post. I hit the post.
Aye,
It just fell
aye, it
right
was.
into the
Aye,
path
aye, hit
of
George
George Oakley.
Oakley. Aye, George Oakley's right there at the back post, converts a rebound, and 40 minutes in, it's 2-0 to Ayr United. They're in dreamland, but not for
Yeah.
long.
Mm. And that's
No,
Falkirk giving him a Michael McLean, you know what I mean?
aye,
2 goals down before we're going to the Falkirk goal, but without giving away any too many spoilers. But yeah, you're looking at that, and again, say with the Livingston game, you know what I mean? 2-0 down before half time, and you're like, you'd be a bit bereft, you know what I mean? But
aye. But Liam Henderson does manage to get one back from a corner just on the brink of half time. Gives Falkirk a little bit of hope.
I think
Um,
he scored at a very crucial time, you know what I mean? Crucial goal for the corner. And before half time, they're going into the game a goal behind, you know what I mean, rather than 2 goals behind, you know what I mean. And yeah, as you said, it gives them a bit of hope, it gives them a bit of belief, and especially in a big game, in a big game like Saturday. So
Now, there's one thing I do want to mention about Falkirk when it comes to this, and it's the fact that they have disco lights, right? Now, the thing is, at disco lights, see, during the night, it was like I was at Celtic Park last week, where it's like Celtic have the disco lights, and it's like I was there. It was what was it? It was a half-life kickoff, so it was a bit dark. It makes sense to have these disco lights and whatnot going on whilst you got the spotlights on anyway. not during the day.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
it's like I just noticed like why is the grass get like why is the pitch getting like oh my god oh it's a disco lights isn't it? It's just like it works as a spectacle at like these late night games or whatever, but it's like no.
Yeah, even they had them for the Falkirk Livi game as well. Again, look, that was a Friday night game. A bit embarrassing. They've got the thing with, but you know what I mean. It looks good at night, you know what I mean. But again,
Aye.
as you said, Callum, just to echo what you're saying, during the day it's very bizarre. I don't get it
Aye.
personally, but
And also when you score when you're losing, that's also
yeah, like
I suppose the
because
same
when
can
they
be said
scored, I
about
think
goal
they were like
music.
2-0 down to Livingston, and they had the disco lights on. Oh fuck that.
I was gonna say, I think we played like a night game, or at least it was very dark, and
Hmm.
I was back in December or something like that, and I remember one of the club photographers complaining because it made it difficult to get pictures. But aye, so it's half time, 2-1 and it's at this point where it's a case of right, these are the two title challenges. Are Falkirk do Falkirk have the momentum now? And boy, did they have the momentum! They really had the momentum. It was that second half was pretty much all Falkirk, and of course
Yeah,
they do
just
get.
one way traffic. You know what I mean?
I of course that does mean one thing: goal for Falkirk, and it's Scott Arfield scoring on his first championship game. No, second because he scored a hat trick. He scored a hat trick
He
last
scored
week.
against against us. Thank you for reminding me, Callum. You know,
I was like, wait, no, this is not his first championship game.
it's his second.
I forgot there was two teams in the championship that weren't playing in the Scottish Cup. You know, I forgot we mentioned that last time. But Scott Arfield scoring again. It's a pretty good return for him. You know, he's come back. He's 4 goals in 2 games. Not bad. There's definitely players and who've been like playing up front all season who don't even have that number. so
Yeah, definitely.
so not bad. And it's like the one way traffic just continues. It is pretty much all Falkirk into, but just neither team was able to find that winning
Yeah,
goal.
find a winner. I think it was
So
just a
it
classic first versus second game. I mean, had a draw written all over it. It didn't disappoint. You'd probably think Falkirk were like in the second half probably could have won it. Ayr were kind of hanging on for a bit. But and it's important to note as well, before Falkirk got their goal, I think Ayr could have made it 3-0 as well. So them getting that goal was it proved vital. It proved vital for them to pull it back, and then obviously, you know, to get a draw. You know what I mean?
it's like with that first half, it's like Air fans will be disappointed not to come away with a win, considering they went
Hmm.
2-0 up. But then also with the
Yeah,
way the second half went, Falkirk fans will be disappointed to have not come away with a win.
yeah, definitely.
But it does mean that the top two do stay the same. If Air won, they would have gone top. So it does leave it all wide open. With third place, Livingston also playing. They were playing against Dunfermline, and the notes for this game are a bit short, to put it lightly.
I,
I wrote two
I
words,
I
but
don't even know what to say about this. Like the highlights on the Livi TV were 3 minutes long. I think that pretty much tells you all you need to know about this game. A very very boring affair. A game that just lacked any real quality at all. I felt Dunfermline did come closest with a shot for Witherspoon. It was a good save for the the Livi keeper, but other than that, I've got no words to be honest.
this was
I
a
think
game that
Callum's got
happened.
two. I think Callum's got two words for what happened in this game.
Yeah, my notes just say fuck all.
Yeah.
It's not often we've had one of these, but it's like it do happen time to time where there's just a game that just sort of exists. This game happened, we can move on. And move on we shall to another 2-all draw, this time Morton against Airdrie. Airdrie seeing a bit of a resurgence and not losing every game, unfortunately. But aye, Wilson opens the scoring for Airdrie 6 minutes in, and it took me a couple of watches to work out what on earth happened. It was like the two Morton defenders just sort of got in the way of each other and like
Yeah, it was
knocked each
a
other
very,
over.
very
And it's
comical goal to concede. Very poor by for Morton standards. But I mean, they've done well to grab the equaliser as we go on. But you've got to think you've just got to say a really poor defending for Morton for that first goal.
it was just comical to watch.
Yeah.
It's like I've just got written defensive mishap because that's what it was. But no, Morton are able to recover. Aidan, who put in the he put in the chat messages just to describe the game because apparently we do a terrible job at it. Well, I mean, like if he wasn't away watching Morton against Aki's, then he'd be able to give his side of the story. But he was saying Adrian just seemed to like go 1-0 up, and then it's just hoofball. And it seems to be the case because Morton just had everything up until the equaliser. Nathan Shaw ball gets crossed in. A Morton player does go down. It might be Stuparevic, but it just falls to Nathan Shaw, who manages to put it into the bottom left corner. It's a very good finish.
Yeah, really good finish. But I
And
think again the defending for Airdrie was pretty poor. I seen the goalkeeper shout it. I think he shouted it. I think it was the left back or the right back. I can't mind. It was the guy just on the left. He was going through him. I don't know. I think it was he didn't close him down, whatever. But managed to catch it on the highlights.
it does see that's a slightly recurring theme, isn't it, with Virgil this season, where it's like you could always feel that they were going to score goals when they were doing terrible, and it's like now they are scoring goals, but it's like their defense is just awful.
Nah, you
Like their
can't keep
defense is
Rangers at a close. Saying that they'll probably beat us next week. So I'm saying fucking nothing. To be honest, in that regard.
but it was still a very end to end game throughout the rest of the first half and into the second half as well. A couple of chances for both sides. But then it is Rico Diak, who, am I right in saying he's on loan from Partick?
He's on loan from us, yeah.
He's on loan. And he manages to get a goal from a cross, ball gets whipped in, and it's just headed into the far corner. It's a good finish, and you're just thinking, right, Airdrie, they're 2-1 up now. Let's see if they can do anything. No, no. It's like Morton take kick off, go up the field, win a corner, ball comes in, Jack Baird heads home, 2-all. Like not even a minute later.
Aye.
Uh,
Again, it's just a
it,
story of Airdrie's season, you know what I mean? Just can't seem to keep Wayne's at a closer. It's you struggle to think like I think last season, sorry, they were pretty solid defensively. And this season it's just took a massive nosedive. Sorry. Um, Obviously a few of their players were kind of bought by other teams in the division and that, but
the whole team pretty
yeah,
much.
pretty much the whole team just got torn apart. But yeah, um, it's a complete contrast to how they were last season.
But it's like it is. Oh, I forgot the name of the manager now.
Bruce McCabe.
Reece McCabe, that's it. It's like I don't even he's a player manager, but it's like, I don't even think he plays anymore. I don't remember. I'm not sure if he was in the starting 11 or not, but it doesn't feel like he's been on the pitch
Yeah, been on the pitch for a while, yeah.
as often as he was last season. So it is it is strange, but yeah, it's like despite chances mostly from Morton, I was saying although there was a couple of chances for Edry, it does finish um 2-2, and Morton's unbeaten run continues. I'm only mentioning this because Aidan will not be happy if I don't mention it, but yes, Morton are unbeaten since their 6-0 loss to Falkirk back at the beginning of November, 2nd November. I looked. Now, there is like a slight caveat to this. They've played 10 games, whereas other teams have played like 11, 12, 13. And of those 10 games, they've won 4. Granted, one of them was against Reef,
Yeah.
which they don't like to mention, but when they got like a last minute winner, but it's like they're proving very difficult to beat. And we'll all
Yeah.
mention form when it comes to a certain amount of games later on. But it's like they're still there or thereabout. They've definitely moved away from that bottom three, bottom two sort of conversation that we
Definitely.
were having with like Edry and Dunfermline and maybe Aki's who we'll come on to next. But
I definitely. I think they're even in there. Don't really want to big them up too much, really, but as a Thistle fan, but I think they're certainly in amongst the conversation for pushing for the dislodging us out the playoffs. To be honest, but only time will tell, suppose. But I think they've got like, is it 4 games in 10 days or something like that, and 3 of them are Capello, so they're big games. And obviously at time of recording, they've got a big game at Capello tonight against Airdrie. So, aye, no, they've already paid Airdrie. Who are they
it's
playing tonight?
Aki's, it's Aki's, it's Aki's.
Aki's. Sorry, Aiden, don't crucify me.
This is just going to become like the try and not anger the Morton gods. That is Aiden. It's like next
But
time he comes on, he's going to have like his notes, and it's just going to be just saying, "Actually, you said this when it was this, and you said this when it was this." We love you, Aiden. But as you were saying, it does seem like Morton can make a push for that fourth spot because Queens Park are in free fall. They really are. uh, they so it's like we come on to their game against Queens Park against Hamilton Accies. Now it's contrasting bit of form of this because Accies lost the last 4 games. Meanwhile, Queens Park had just beaten Rangers at Ibrox. So you're thinking, okay then. And it's like I've seen Aki's like not too long ago, and Aki's were terrible, or maybe Rafe were actually really good. We'll get onto that later. But yeah, it's like you think, okay then, surely it's like if you've just beaten Rangers away, you're playing a team down towards the bottom of your division. You're gonna have some confidence about you. Scott Robinson opens with a rebound from a chip shot 6 minutes in to put Aki's and 1-0 up. This is incredible. And then, not even 10 minutes later, Ricky Lamy heads home from a corner. So we're 15 minutes in, and Aki's are 2-0 up against Queen's Park. And as you can imagine, their 5 fans were making fun of Rangers, which I am all for. I'm all for it.
absolutely.
I'm all for this petty bullshit. It absolutely is petty, and I love it.
Again, it's just two very, very, like the first one, I'd say it's more unfortunate than frustrating to concede. The rebound just falls back to Scott Robinson. But I think the second goal is a fair corner. I think they should be doing a lot. Queens Park should be doing a lot better to deal with it. I think the keeper should be doing a bit better as well. If they're there, it's off the post and in for the corner. It's not good for Queens Park at the moment. League-wise, certainly, obviously, had a fantastic result in the cup. One I certainly dream of. Um, but it's the league form's very inconsistent.
And it was. I think I've said this like a lot of times where it was just who was it who did they lose? They lost Dom Thomas. They lost Dom Thomas in the January transfer window, and they lost someone else who was quite important to them. Oh, my mind's drawing a blank, but they lost Dom Thomas and someone else. Was
Barry
it?
Hepburn.
It might have been him. I'm not sure, but it's like I just seen it's like I remember seeing it's like Dom
I'm
Thomas
trying to
moved away
think. It was
to
who's our keeper again? Was it Callum McKenna, the young
Callum
boy?
McKenna left in the summer.
Yeah,
Dom Thomas he recently left to go to Derry, who are spending a lot of money.
yeah,
So expect that to be like a more frequent thing in the coming years, where the Scottish Championship talent, Scottish Premiership talent goes over there. 'Cause they signed Liam Boyce from
hmm
Hearts,
yeah.
so but it was. Oh wait, was it Sean Payton?
It might have, I think it might have
I
been.
think it was Sean Payton.
Yeah.
It was Sean Payton who left. I'm not sure if he went. He went. I think he went to a club in the Premiership actually,
hmm
but it's like Sean Payton left. It's like you see those. It's like who do Queens Park have up top? Zach Rudden. And let's just say that definitely showed in this game because after Accies went 2-0 up, it was just all Queens Park pretty much. It was just a constant barrage, and you're just thinking no one's going to put the ball in the net. No one's putting the ball. It's like they're having so many opportunities, and no one's just putting the ball in the net apart
Yeah.
from shown well. She does hit from long range on the hour mark and it manages to go in. It's a pretty tidy finish. I think it hit like the post and went in.
I think it did. Yeah, hit the postman in. Sean Welsh has always had that in his locker. I thought even when he was at us, very underrated player. I thought was just hampered by hindered by injuries. He's he's always been a decent player. I felt and it was a good finish by him at the weekend.
It was, but it wasn't enough. It's just like Queen's Park again, just like kept on going at the goal and couldn't couldn't score. They just could
Yeah,
not score, and it's just like fair play to Callum Ferry as well for making two really good saves to deny Aki's a more comfortable victory. But it was like the Aki's. It's like the two goals were their first two shots on target, and then
yeah,
it's like the two big saves that he made were like the two other ones, and
yeah.
it's like Queens Park had something like four shots on target as well, but maybe like a couple more shots. But you just
Yeah,
felt it's like Queens Park just don't have the firepower now,
no. I would have
and
thought as well after their win away to Rangers, it would have gave them a like kind of rock up their arse and been like that. Like it would have given them a fuck ton of momentum, as you would expect. But it's not, and they lost at the weekend. And it's just been a very inconsistent season for Queens Park. I felt.
it's like Queens Park's form recently has actually been the worst in the league. I know I did just say that Aki's lost their last four, but if you take it to the last 8 games, Queens Park have only earned 4 points.
It's wild.
It's just like they were right up there with um, Partick Thistle, like going into
Aye,
January when it came to getting that fourth spot. Because let's face it, Ayr, Livingston, and Falkirk have just like gone away, and so you're just sort of like, okay, it's going to be between Thistle and Queens Park for that final playoff spot. But it's just
aye.
like as poor as Thistle have been, Queens have just dropped off a cliff
Yeah,
recently.
definitely.
They really have.
I think the
But
sorry to interrupt you, Callum. I think the player you were looking for was Rudy Payton.
Ruby
He,
Payton. Where did I get Sean Payton from?
I know, I was trying to think, I was like, you know, but I went for Queen's Park to Port Vale, and then he's on loan at Dundee United. So
Ah, that's what it was. But it's like Queens Park in freefall, and the other team that they were fighting with for that final playoff spot, Partick Thistle. Oh boy, what a time!
do we really need to talk about this, Callum?
Oh yes, we do, Kieran. Oh yes, we do.
For your sake, we'll talk about it.
Yes.
After all the losses you've had to discuss on here, you know what I mean. I think it's about time. You know what I mean.
I had to
You get
discuss the
discussing.
Derby loss last time. I'm allowed to discuss
Oh,
this
you
again.
absolutely are.
Great detail. Great detail is going to go into this. So Reef host Partick Thistle in our final game that we're covering, and it's like Reef have been very inconsistent this season, whereas like sometimes we're brilliant and sometimes we're terrible. But and the same could be said about Partick Thistle. But it's like two of us, we met in the pub before, and you were saying that we were winning, and that
Yeah,
you were dog shit, and we were, and pals, we were all just like, we're dog shit as well.
yeah,
It's like we just been beat 5-0 off a Celtic and lost to a derby 2 weeks ago, and it's just,
Mhm.
but it's like, my word, you did not lie.
Yeah. Like honestly, like just before we go into the game for your side in detail, like I knew before the ball was even kicked. On Saturday we were losing. I mean, even saying that, like I'm never ever confident going to Starts Park. In like any given day, regardless of the reform we're in.
I was going to say,
But
what's the record? It's something like not Thistle haven't won at Starks in the league since like 2011.
yeah, 2011, March 2011. I think I brought up it was on the same day as the Japan tsunami, when I was pissed talking to Ian Morton. But yeah, the last Thistle player to score in that game was Paddy Boyle, so that's a throwback for everyone listening. Um, but yeah, he scored on the 2-0. He scored on the 2-0 win that day. But a record at Starts Park is atrocious. Obviously, we won in the 90 minutes in the playoff semi final second leg, but
Still
that
lost on
doesn't count
penalties.
for nothing. You know what I mean? So
Still lost on penalties, so it
yeah,
still counts as a reef
and
win. As the admin was reminding people. But yeah, it starts off brilliantly for Reef. Um, balls in the box bouncing around a bit, and as Thistle are trying to clear it, Kyle Turner forgets that he is no longer a Reef Rovers player and just sort of kicks the ball towards the the byline, but it is a perfect through ball for Finlay Pollock to just smash home into the far corner to put Reef 1-0 up after 8 minutes. And it's beautiful. It's great winning games. I don't know how to. I've not been in this position for a while. It's like we went on a 3-game winning run, but that's when we stopped doing the podcast for Christmas. But it was it was a good finish, and it's like it's not too long until the second goal where, oh my god, right, so Dylan Easton has the ball in like the corner, left hand corner of the 18-yard box, and he hits it towards goal, and what's the goalie's name? David Mitchell.
David Mitchell, yeah,
He dives towards the ball, but he just like completely misses it. It's like he goes to like
yeah,
claim this low cross, but he just misses it completely, and it just falls to Pollock, who's managed to run in front of Dan O'Reilly, and that makes it 2-0 after 25 minutes. And then, aside from aside from Josh Ray bringing down Ablade, who was playing up top,
yeah.
it's like aside from that, it was just all Rafe. It's like the referee bringing down the
Rafe
bloody. It
Rafe
was
scaled the
offside.
post as well. Just after, I think it was just after he's went to two goals up.
Aye,
And
Scott Brown. Aye, Scott Brown
yeah,
hit
Scott
a
Brown
shot.
hit
Yeah.
the post, and Christ, I was already thinking about going to the pub already. It was really, really bad. And we're going to discuss about Bannigan and his head loss for the third goal. But if you think his head loss is bad, just as I seen me away in the end. After Scott Brown hit the post we were 2-0 down to nearly make it 3. I was getting told my language was too offensive by Thistle fans. Wasn't saying it bad or anything like that. I was just calling the whole team shite bags and telling them to fuck off and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it wasn't good. That's probably the angriest I've ever been. Well, not the angriest I've ever been at a game, because I've seen some absolute stinkers, but it's up there. We were piss poor like that. Like to find ourselves 2 goals down in that short amount of time, and the goals we conceded, for the 2 goals. Then obviously we're going to discuss the third goal we
The third
conceded,
goal.
the events that led up to that or before it, whatever. With Bannigan, it was embarrassing to say the least.
Aye, it's like at half time it could have easily been 3 or 4.
Yeah, the
We
game itself, it could have been about 5 or 6. It was 3-0. It was 3-0 going on 5 or 6. It was a tough watch. From a Thistle point of view, as a Rafe fan, you're absolutely loving it. Obviously, but from a Thistle point of view, nothing short of disgraceful, to be honest.
and I think what sums up this game best has got to be the third goal that Rovers scored in the second half. This was just on the hour, and it starts off with Thistle have the ball at the back. Dan O'Reilly passes it right to Lee Ashcroft, who's closed down, and he's near the halfway line, by the way. And so he passes it back to Mitchell, who who once again misses the ball. And so Rafe have a corner, and at the edge of the box, everyone's getting prepared, everyone's on their positions. But Jamie Gullen and Stuart Bannigan are going at each other.
They're having a bit
Jamie's
of
just
a
having
ding
a
dong
laugh,
with each other. So it's,
having a little bit of a ding dong, and it's like the referee calls the two of them over, just be like, what he's playing at, just like calm it down. But then it's like, as they're going away from the referee again, Bannigan starts at it immediately.
yeah,
Like, he's not even gone like 2 steps, and he's at it immediately. And of course, the ref is just like, you're getting a yellow card.
yeah.
And and then maybe like 10 seconds later, so Rovers are ready. Ball gets whipped in, and it's going towards like the back post. Stuart Bannigan and Jamie Gullen are still at the edge of the box, and Gullen's running in, and Bannigan just like pushes him over. It's not even like a discreet nudge or whatever. It is
And
just
just
full
shoves them
blown
to the ground.
2 hands shove, just right over, right in front of the referee. A penalty to Rafe Rovers, and the funniest part of this is Bannigan is immediately at the referee complaining again, and everyone is just there, just like he's getting sent off.
Yeah.
He's getting sent off. He's going to get like 2 bookings in 30 seconds. It was just an unreal piece of head loss. It was absolutely hilarious from my end.
I really was. I mean, to be honest, I was at pissed at the game. I don't even remember it. Don't remember this happening. I just seen the penalty getting given. I didn't realise until I got told in a pub how bad it was, and I was like, "But this was coming for Ray fans, by the way, no Thistle fans. This was Ray fans saying Bannigan was an absolute disgrace for that. That his head loss was insane. So I come back home after a night out in the tiles, a night out in the skate, trying to get me over this trauma that I've just watched. And it was just immediately, I'm embarrassed, I'm cringing at it. Honestly, it's like Bannigan has been probably one of one of our best players this season. Like he's been fantastic. But Saturday again, I use this phrase. He was he was nothing short of a disgrace. That's now three fuck ups for two senior pros in 3 games, and it's cost us points or games. We had Brian Graham taking the ball off Turner in the Morton game, Morton 2-2 game. He misses a penalty. We end up then having to score a late last minute equaliser to draw with Morton. And then you've got Graham getting sent off, and we're actually being competent away to Falkirk. Looked like we'd done something. That looked like we were going to do something, sorry, get a result. And by all accounts, Graham was having a fantastic game that day. Gets sent off, and we go and end up losing the game 5-2. And then Bannigan again. Even then, the game is gone by that point anyway. There was no way we were getting into it, getting back into the game. But again, if we didn't give ourselves a mountain to climb, being two goals down 15 minutes in, Bannigan's just went away and sold us down the river. So it was shocking. But again, that's just one player you can pick on. The whole team was absolutely embarrassing this Saturday. Not one player turned up. I'd probably give pass marks to Abladi just due to the shift he had up top. Yeah, I mean, he's not a striker, and
You were saying beforehand,
yeah,
it's like you just didn't have a striker for
yeah,
this game.
we don't have a recognised striker, and we've shoved Abladi up top, and yet you have Rico Diak, scoring for Airdrie away to Morton. You know what I mean? So I could rant about this game until the cows come home. Again, 0 shots on target the whole game. It's just pathetic, abject, dire. It's just so bad. And like I see a lot of Wraith fans saying that's probably the worst they've seen us. They've seen a Thistle side. At Start Spark, Callum, I don't know if you can come. I don't know if you can confirm. Sorry, if you feel the same way. But I've seen a few Wraith fans on Twitter saying, yeah, it's probably the worst Thistle side they've seen. They've seen Wraith play.
This is definitely is. I've seen. I think it was like a couple of days ago. Got one of those Snapchat memories out. It's just like, oh yeah, 5 years ago you were at Reef Rovers 2, Partick Thistle 1, when it was the Challenge Cup, and it was a season that Thistle got relegated because of Thistle being shite, but also COVID. And it's just like
Demoted. We weren't relegated, Callum. We were demoted.
relegated by committee. Never forget.
Get the flag out.
Get the flag out. But yeah, it was just like that. It's like that side was bad, but it's just like that Thistle performance at the weekend was absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
at
it's
least
like
we scored in that Challenge Cup game. You know what I mean? We
aye,
nearly brought it, nearly pulled it back to extra time. That
against
day.
a League One side.
Yeah. Saturday was. It's. I've seen some stinking Thistle teams. I've seen us get relegated once, technically twice. And it's probably the worst I've seen us play since we came back up for League One. And we've had some stinkers. But that was really, really poor. Not one player just seemed to give a fuck, to be honest. And it's nuts because the way I'm talking right now, the way I'm speaking right now, is as if we're like 10 points adrift at the bottom. We're still fourth. You know
It's
what I
like
mean?
if you
And the way we're
Airdrie.
playing right now is it stinks at a team in a relegation battle. And now, due to the weekend's result, we are now looking over our shoulder in genuine fear. You know what I mean? We're at genuine risk of finishing 5th, 6th, which would be an absolute disaster. Considering our goal for the season, getting promotion. It's I would say I've got no words, but I've just given you the Gettysburg address out about how shite we are. So
It's like Easton puts away the penalty, and it's just the final nail in the coffin. And
And I was away at the pub.
you away down the pub. Reef hit the post again. Reef hit the post again in that second half, by the way. So it was probably one of the. It's like that was definitely the best Reef had played this season, easily better than the Aki's game because it was actually for a full 90 minutes. Bazaball is in a full swing at BB. Last eight, as Asi was saying about looking over his shoulder, Rafe have in their last 8 games got 15 points. Morton have got 14 points. Thistle only 7. And with Rafe and Morton having games in hand, it's like I think it's like if Rafe win,
Rafe are 6 points ahead. You know what I mean?
Rafe are 6 points behind. Morton are
Yeah, Rafe are
7
6 points
points.
behind. Sorry, fuck. Imagine Rafe are 6 points ahead. I wouldn't be on here.
I would like see if this was last season. I would be absolutely insufferable. You would not want to be on here. But
imagine being on here after the 4-3 game at Start Spark. Christ,
oh god,
fuck that, man. But I like I've never like there's fans that left on Saturday at the same time as me that stayed the full 90. Like I've not seen an exodus of away fans like that in a long time. About half Callum can probably confirm, but like half this, like pretty much half, more than half of the stand left. Um, at 3-0 down. Yeah, it was absolutely shocking.
yeah, I can
Um,
confirm it was just like he's brought like a smaller away following than he normally do, and I was like, you just think it's like, yeah, it's not been great recently, but it's like it was like when that penalty was conceded. I think it's like at half time the ultras banner was gone,
yeah,
and then by the third goal it was like that away end just
I
emptied.
was thinking I was thinking of leaving it 2-0 down, but obviously 3 goal rule I kind of try and stick to. You know what I mean? And
Aye, this is Reef
again,
rules as well.
as much as how shite we were when we went 2-0 down, you've still got another half a football to play.
And you're playing
Before,
with rules. We have a habit of just throwing away 2 goal leads.
but when it gets to 3-0, you know what I mean? Good night Vienna, that's all she wrote. I went
Aye,
away to the pub and waited in the Penny Farland toilets, so
bye bye
that's how
Thistle.
my Saturday went. It was probably still a better performance than Bannigan's, I suppose. So,
Aye, and I suppose
but yeah,
the not only was Easton's goal the final nail in the coffin for this game, it also appeared to be the final nail in the coffin for Kris Doolan, who was sacked on the day of recording. He was sacked at about lunchtime. Um, it's it's one of those where it's like I was suggesting this might have happened back in October. We were discussing this beforehand, where he was saying if it was like before the game against Airdrie, where it's a case of if he did it when he was gone, and it's just yeah, it's a shame because he is a club legend. He's one of Thistle's. He's a Thistle fan favourite. He scored like I think he scored like at least 100 goals for Thistle.
121.
He's one of your top goal scorers, and it's like
I think he's
It
fourth
started off
all
well.
time goal scorer. I think he's like fourth. Sorry, Callum, I cut you off again. But I think it's like fourth all time in the goal scoring chart. I think it's like fourth. I think he's joint fourth, and then the players up like above him are like think of like 300, 400 goals, and that's like pre First World War, pre Second World War, and all that kind of stuff. But gutted the way it ended. It
Because it
ended
did
this
start
way,
off
but
well. It started off well. He's
yeah,
almost what was it? It started off well. He's got to the playoff final.
It was 2 years ago today. Sorry again. It was 2 years ago today. It was his first game in charge. We won 1-0 away to Ayr. You know what I mean? Started off well, and he had the streaming reaching playoff glory and getting promoted to the top flight. You know what I mean? First time asking for Doolan, but obviously it ultimately wasn't to be. And yeah, as I was saying, I'm gutted the way it's ended. That there's no other manager I wanted more to concede than succeed than Kris Doolan. But the baggage he has and the stature he has in the club, but again, his time is up ultimately. And it was, I say before it was getting ugly, it's been toxic for at least 2 3 weeks now. In the stands. And it had to get done before it tarnished his reputation, because that's the last thing I want to do with Doolan. So, it's a shame, and he's still a legend, but it was ultimately the writing was on the wall, and we need to get this appointment right. Next, whoever that may be, I don't have the fucking answers to it, but yeah, we certainly need to get the appointment right, or we are in deep trouble. Falling down the leagues falling down the league, sorry, and potentially doing ourselves harm in years to come. So
Yeah, I should have written down notes for names, but I do know in the chat, like I think the three names that we'd collectively brought up were first of all Stuart Kettlewell, but it's like considering the his reaction to Motherwell fans, I'm not entirely sure he'd be able to cope with the Partick Thistle
no,
fans. I brought up two names in Ian Murray. I feel like Ian Murray would be someone who'd be over that all over that job. And the third one, which sort of seem it's like you can see it happening, is Brian Graham becoming player manager. Maybe like at least until the end of the season, until in
I
the
think he'll
summer.
get it end of the season to kind of steady the ship, as it may. And I mean, if it comes to it, he does well, give him the job permanently. But again, I don't want that to come to the detriment of the women's team as well, because obviously he's
Because he's
manager
done
of
a
that,
good
and
job. He's done a
he's done
good
a
job
good
with the
job there.
women's
Yeah,
team.
yeah. He's got
He,
his. I think it's 2 3 consecutive top six finishes. Got us to the Sky Sports Cup final. Ultimately, we were defeated on the day by a far more superior Rangers side.
a
But yeah, he's done well
professional
this
Rangers
season.
side.
It's been a bit of touch and go. With Graham with the Thistle manager, it's been fairly inconsistent, but they've lost a few key players. The Thistle women's side, but yeah, look, listen, if it comes to it, and Graham has Graham has a choice. It's his choice to make, but yeah, I've seen Neil Lennon getting branded about.
Oh, I Neil Lennon.
Yeah, Reece McCabe's another shout.
Malky
I've seen.
Mackay. does does get the PLZ soccer like list of mates and just be like, oh, who can we like squeeze in here?
I think the Daily Record it was Daily Record released at 8 names, that they think are going to take over. Obviously, you've got your Ian Murray's, your Stuart Kettlewells, Brian Graham, and your obvious shouts, but McIndoe as well, for Edinburgh City's another one that was listed there. Seems to be doing very well for Edinburgh City at the moment as well. Gary Naismith
Aye,
is
they won
another one
five
that I've
0 at the
seen.
weekend.
Yeah, aye, a fantastic win over Spartans, in the local derby there. 5-0 it was, wasn't it?
Aye, 5-0. Aye, five
I
0
absolutely scared. I know a few Edinburgh City fans, um, and aye, they seem more than impressed with the job he's doing. Another one that they're not so impressed with, and I don't think they like too much, is Gary Naismith, Stenhousemuir.
No.
That's another one that's been touted about as well. But just again, as I said, I need to reiterate, we need to get this appointment right. You know what I mean? Because we're in free fall at the moment. If we make the wrong decision and make the wrong appointment, um, troubling times may be ahead for us. You know what I mean? So
So, aye, we might as well have a look towards next week's fixtures then. Let me get them up. Where is it? Scottish Championship games. There we go. Well, as of recording, it's still 0-0 between Morton and Hamilton after 20 minutes. I'm sure Aidan is enjoying himself. I was suggesting he could just do like a sort of live description of the game.
I would hope so.
we just he's just in like the Morton media pen doing this podcast, and we just hear cheering whenever there's a goal. But speaking of Morton, they play Falkirk on Friday. That game is on BBC. So, fun time for them playing Saturday, Tuesday, Friday. We had that earlier in the season, actually. We played Falkirk, then Airdrie, then Ayr, and we managed to win the 2 midweek games. Don't know how, but we just did. Managerless Partick Thistle are at home against Airdrie. Ayr United, they're at home to Livingston in another top of the table clash. Rafe are at home to Hamilton. And I should probably mention the Rovers board have put on a deal where basically this game against Hamilton and the next game against Queen's Park is basically a 2-for-1 deal. You can buy basically 2 tickets for the price of 1, which fair play
That's
to them.
fantastic.
I wonder if that was Andrew Bowerman's like last wishes before he left. And the final game is Dunfermline against Queen's Park, and I suppose you might as well have a look at the table as well. Top 3 remain unchanged. Just add 1 point from the last time, so Falkirk on 50, Ayr on 48, and Livingston on 46. All 3 with 24 games played. Partick Thistle, 4th with 36 points with 25 games played. Rafe are up to 5th now with 23 games played and are on 30 points. So, 6 points for 2 games in hand. Goal difference is only 5 worse. It could be possible considering who we play next. Queen's Park on 24 games and 29 points. Morton and Aki's currently playing, that's 0-0. Morton are on 29 points. Aki's are on 25. Dunfermline are on 23 points. And Airdrie remain rock bottom on 13 points. But, it's like they've earned 7 points from their last 3. So they've doubled their, it's like they've doubled their tally since we came back.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So
honestly,
fair play to them.
I'm not looking forward to the game on Saturday. I mean, whenever in the last 2-3 months, look forward to a Partick Thistle game. But yeah, I can see they're getting a result worse, beating us. It's and they're on a decent bit of form now as well. So only time will tell.
Join the club. Join the losing to Airdrie club. It's not
They
as
haven't
lonely as
beaten
it
us at
once
Farhill
was.
since 2009.
Hey, it's like the losing to Airdrie club isn't as lonely as it was, from earlier on in the season. We'll just put it that way. I'm just glad we're not the only team to lose to them. I was just like the longer that, what was it, like 19 games? It was like the longer that went on, we just said, please win another game. But yes, we will be back for next week's fixtures. I should be back with my camera and PC and everything. Maybe not like a fully decorated room, but we'll see. A functioning room, that's what it'll be. At bare minimum. It'll look even more like a prison if it's not decorated, by the way. It's genuinely just. It's like I'm leaning up against a bare concrete wall. Welcome to Fife. But anyway, yes, we will be back next week. And so, yeah, bye for now.